Those ones are quite interesting. Last night was really cold compared to what I've seen up till now anyways. I could see my breath and I was shivering and my hands were going numb while I tried to eat my food and pack my bear can. And because these valleys between the passes are lower and have lots of water running in them, there's just so much moisture that condensation is inevitable, and it was starting within like 5 minutes of me taking an item out of my backpack. So my quilt did get completely soaked last night and I have to dry it out today. But I slept well because I just put on all of my layers and I got nice and warm and cozy and it wasn't too bad. I think that must be Mather Pass up there, probably. No, that's completely wrong. It's the other low point. It's that guy. That looks like a pass. So Mather Pass and Pinchot Pass, which I did yesterday, are only 10 miles apart. They're pretty close, and the lowest point between them is still at 10,000 feet elevation. So it's pretty easy to get from one to the other. It's early morning and I'm already almost at Mather. The sun has only just risen on me. That's where I came from. I think even it was that valley, because that mountain looks red and familiar. It's break number 1 and I have a perfectly angled rock to rest on. For breakfast I've been eating these 2 giant bags of bars that I got. They've got a lot of good nuts and seeds and things. There's this one and then this one. But my food turned on me all of a sudden. This morning I took 1 bite of this one and all of a sudden I couldn't take another bite and I'll never be able to take another bite again. It just tasted absolutely disgusting and I was pretty much enjoying it up until that point. And sadly that just happens with food sometimes if you just eat too much of it. So this one, all of a sudden it reminded me of another food that I can't do anymore, which was cinnamon granola. I used to eat that all the time, loved it, and one day, never again. So I usually try to keep a lot of variety in my food to avoid that happening, because if that happens to oatmeal, then I'm in for a rough time because I really depend on oatmeal and things like that. I can't have that happening to Idaho and potatoes either, or ramen. See, one of the other ones it happened to was Snickers bars. I can't do Snickers bars anymore. This is what my climbing usually looks like. Whenever I can get my breathing, my steps, and my trekking poles all in a good rhythm together, then the climb goes much more smoothly and easily. I'm at the top of the 4th big pass of the section. It's Mather Pass and the elevation is 12,094 feet. Here's the valley I came in. There's the trail. Here's the top of the pass, getting a little windy. Down. there, that's the dust from where a rock fall started, and I could hear the rocks tumbling down the mountainside. Also, I was wearing my gloves that I don't often wear because it was pretty cold on this side of the descent with no sun until now. Here's one thing that is really great about the Sierra. I have my break spot and I'm getting ready to cold soak my oatmeal and have my breakfast. And then I realized that I remembered to bring electrolyte water, but I forgot to get oatmeal water. And I cannot soak my oatmeal in kiwi strawberry electrolytes. And I thought I was going to have to pack up and go somewhere else and get water somewhere before eating my oatmeal. But I just walked a little distance over here and there was just random water right where I needed it. Not a lot, but I can collect from that. The golden milk turmeric latte is really strong and flavorful, so I put too much in yesterday. I'm gonna try a little less. Maybe, oh, it's gone. Maybe that much this time. I got the ratios just right. My resupply this section is decent, but a little boring when it comes to lunches and dinners because it's entirely ramen and oatmeal. And it's because for the 5-day food carry had to fit in the bear can, and so space was really at a premium. So I couldn't get any kind of bigger things with interesting water weight like cream cheese or whatever. And so for the ramen, this bag was almost full. What I do is just crush it all up and put it in one big bag because it's you can make it a little pancake and fit it into the bear can like that. But ramen, even like this, there's little gaps, little holes in between the ramen, so it's not entirely volumetrically efficient. So I will fill the rest with couscous, which fills in the little voids, and they cold soak and probably cook just fine together. I also found this seasoning, this tamarind soup mix I was really excited for, and I put it in my ramen yesterday. And it was good on the noodles, but then once I got to the watery part, it was completely overpowering. I must have put way too much in. But now I'm not gonna, I don't know that I'm gonna risk trying that again. So I'm just gonna go back to my standby miso soup. I leaped from here to here. Just looking back where I came, up there is Mather Pass. You can see the underwater channels. This is such a cool section of trail. The bottom looks perfect for walking out for a swim, except that it's kind of cold right now. I don't think I've seen this type of tree on here before. My app says it is mountain hemlock. And here's the outlet of the lake. It's gonna go this way and fall right off over the edge of that cliff over there. I just came from that valley in there. I'm on this big shoulder of rock, and then I'm gonna drop down really quickly down into that valley. I'll be coming up on something called the Golden Staircase, and last time when I asked people where it was, they just said, "You'll know. You'll know." But I didn't know. I walked right over it and I had no idea that I had even crossed it, because it just must not have felt that hard or something. And I'm hoping this time I actually see the Golden Staircase. Maybe this is the Golden Staircase. There's a bunch of switchbacks and a lot of stairs. I think I'm on it. I think that was it. And then it keeps going down. And those are definitely stairs. This tree makes pine cones with very interesting patterns. This is really beautiful trail engineering. It makes the steps so easy to step down. Unlike, what was it, Glen Pass, the descent was so steep, my knees were hurting for days after. That's looking back at the Golden Staircase. Everyone goes, oh, there's people up there. People going right up. Ooh, I just came down into the ferns. Oh, he had a blue stomach. He's the third lizard I've seen today. This small area of rocks must be just perfect habitat for them for some reason. It's like the return of the desert. I've finally descended into the woods. The woods always feel so peaceful after the high rocky drama of the passes. I love walking on nice dirt trail. These ones have such dramatic center things. I think I camped here last time. I almost forgot that I had a soaking wet quilt in my bag that needed to dry out, but I remembered it and now my quilt is all dry. Also, I'm eating a ginger chew. I have way too many of these because they are super spicy and I can't do very many in a day. Thank you, it's working really well. I just finished the descent from Mather, so I'm at about 8,000 feet. I just came from that valley, which has a lot of ominous looking clouds and perhaps some rain. And then there's this other valley that I'm not going to. And then my valley looks like blue skies, so I'm hoping good weather today. So this means I'm officially beginning the ascent up to Muir Pass is the next one. So many lizards today. Oh, get him. You missed an ant. That river was the Middle Fork Kings River. I think it's another fork of the other Kings River that I crossed before Mather. Anyways, I'm glad I don't have to cross this one, at least not down here. Ooh, looks like he has a little bed. I love these guys with their gigantic leaves. And this is the first time, I think, that I've seen them flowering. Oh, he's got his little baby antlers. Oh, sorry. You go on with your life. Oh, don't trip. On my way down, I ran into two hikers who are doing big sections of the PCT, one of whom I had already met in town, and we just hiked together and had a really lovely time talking and chatting about life lessons and the trail and everything else. And it was just really grounding and connecting to get to talk with people who are of a like mind. I am kind of pushing it a little bit today. I'm still taking my breaks and everything, but I'd like to get to a certain campsite tonight in order to stage myself well for the pass tomorrow. The pattern has been these stormy, ominous looking clouds rolling in the early afternoon. And I would like to be over the pass before that happens. And in order for me to be able to do that with my slow speed up the pass and my mini breaks, I need to be pretty close to the pass in the morning. And this is where I am really grateful that I've gotten strong enough to be able to do like 20-mile days in the Sierra almost. And also right now the trail is so gentle and easy, and I'm still at like 8,500 feet, so the air is easy to breathe. The way the light is hitting those trees up there is so pretty. Hi, sorry, I need to come through. Oh, you're chill. I'm still gonna keep coming though. I just took a break right there, and while I was taking a break, the deer passed me, and now I have to pass the deer again. Hi. I know. Well, I'm gonna come this way. Which way do you want to go? That works. This trail goes to Bishop Pass. So I finally reached the point in trail where I resupplied a few days ago when I went to Bishop. And it reminded me, at the hostel that I stayed at, there were two dogs that were super cute, and their names were Acorn and Jeffrey, which seems strange, but it's for Jeffrey Pine. My friends went to the right. I just saw them bounding away into the bushes. Yeah, that way. There's the valley I just came up. I'm just now turning left into this other valley, and I'm going to be going up there tomorrow. All those storm clouds that were brewing back there, gone. Unless maybe back in there. I camped here last time. So far, almost every campsite has been full. That was the one I was planning to stay at, but I'm going to keep going. If the next one has people, I'll just camp there anyway.